Now, dear students, let's begin our lesson. Good morning. How are you? Okay. Now, let's begin our lesson. The theme of our lesson, phraseology as a subsystem of language. Please listen with attentively. Listen to me, please. Okay. The plan of the lesson features that characterize the phraseological units and Vinogradov's classification of phraseological units. Listen to me with attentively, please. Let's begin our lesson. The theory of the lesson in brief. Okay. Do you listen to me? Okay, listen to me. Phraseology is study very recent. Terminology isn't yet fixed. Opinions differ. How this part of speech can be defined and classified. Phraseological unit is a stable group of words characterized by completely or partially transferred meaning. Phraseological units or idioms are described in numerous English dictionaries. For example, the Oxford Dictionary idioms, the Collins Dictionary, the Longman's Dictionary of idioms. Now, the idiomatic units are colorful because of linguistic curiosity. Researching to idioms has shown that they have important roles in writing and spoken English. They can appear in informal speech and formal style. Phraseological units refer to universals, affixation, compounding, because it is there are a lot of phraseological units, has phraseological phrases, word groups that are ready-made, stable, and idiomatic. It means that they are not created in speech, but are introduced as fixed set expressions. Their meaning cannot be deduced from the literal meaning of the constituent parts. For example, a snake in grass, hidden danger. Fixed set expression, stability of lexical components or grammatical structure. Collocation by Crystal. It is a habitual association between particular words such as to and fro, white coffee, green with envy. They cannot be predicted by the knowledge of the word. Now, it is natural that English language is not used with, unfortunately, in the British Isles and in Australia, in the USA, in New Zealand, and in Canada, and in India. The English language also has some peculiarities in Wales, Scotland, or other parts of British Islands and America. Now, modern linguistics distinguish territorial variants of English language, of national language, and local dialects. Variants of language are regional variants of a standard literary language characterized by the some minor peculiarities in the sound system, in vocabulary, in grammar, and by their own literary norms. Dialects are varieties of language used as a means of oral communication in a small localities. They are set off more or less sharply from other varieties by some distinctive features of pronunciation, grammatical, and the vocabulary. Close inspection of varieties mentioned above reveals that they are essentially different in character. It is not difficult to establish that the varieties spoken in small areas are local dialects. The stats of the other varieties are more difficult to establish. I think If you have any questions, you may ask questions. If you have some opinions, you may tell about your opinions. If you have some more opinions. No? Have you any questions? No, first. Khudayberdi Jadra, please, you, okay, begin.
Could I ask you? Could I ask you? Hello, everyone. So today I would like to talk about an informal style. So as you know, informal style is very common in the world. So what is that informal style? We use informal style is once immediately happened like family, friend, and relatives. So as you know, informal style is very common in the world, especially in USA. So informal style is divided into three types: slang, colloquial, and dialect words. So first of all, I would like to talk about colloquial words. So what is that colloquial? Colloquial is we use colloquial words as a daily conversation and both by uneducated and people. For example, we would say and friend. As you know, friend is very common, but we say it's colloquial way, palm or body. And another word is food. As you know, food is very common, but we use food all the time. But informal style, we use like meal or snack. So the next I would like to talk about is dialect words. What is that dialect words? Dialect is form of the part of the informal style and spoken by the part of the country or another group of people. So actually next I would like to talk about a slang words. So what is that slang? Slang is informal style as well. It's between who people belong to the same group or who know each other well. So for example, we informal style as its particular informal style is very common, but slang word is used between people who know each other very well and who know people each other very well. So that's all. If you have any question, you can ask me. May I ask you?
Have you any questions, please?
Yes, of course.
No. Thank you,
What
Jadra.
about phrasal verbs?
Now,
So phrasal verbs, as you know, we use it every day. Phrasal verbs. So phrasal verbs is combined verbs and preposition. For example, as I said, get up. Get is a verb and up is preposition. Then we combined them. We created phrasal verb like I get up early, or I wake up, or I gave up, or I broke up. That is phrasal verbs. That's all. Thanks for your question.
Jadra, what is the synonyms?
As a synonym is the same meaning, but it has different sounds. Like beautiful, beautiful and handsome and sweet has one meaning. It's just like beautiful. And there we pronounce this different. So synonym, as I said, it's the same meaning, but different sounds. That's all.
Thank you, Jadra. Now, next, who wants, please, girls? Next, who is the next?
I want to tell you about
Sayana,
physiology.
please, you. Okay. Begin, Sayana.
Functionally and semantically inseparable units are usually called phrasological units. Phrasological units cannot be really made up in speech or reproduced as ready-made units. The lexical components in phrasological units are stable and they are non-motivated. Its meaning cannot be deduced from the meaning of its components to be changed of or substituted. In phrasological units, the individual components don't seem to possess any lexical meaning outside the wide group. Vinogradov classified phraseological units into 3 groups. Tuning into consideration their motivation, they are at first phraseological fusions. They are such units which are completely non-motivated word groups. And second, phraseological units. The meaning of such word groups can be perceived through the metaphorical meaning of the whole phraseological units of the meaning of which may be seen as metaphorical components. At third, phraseological collocations. They include motivated, relatively stable word groups. They have a certain degree of stability. So that all.
Who has any questions, girls? Have you any questions? No questions? Okay, Sayana, thank you. Please, Alua, please you, go on.
I tell about formal style. We have already pointed out that formal style is restricted to formal situations. In general, formal words fall into two main groups: words associated with professional communication, and a less exclusive group of so-called learned words. Learned words, these words mainly associated with the printed page. It is in this vocabulary stratum that poetry and fiction find their main resources. The term learned is not precise and does not adequately describe the excess heresies of these words. Somewhat the out of date term for the same category of words goes bookish, but as particularness, book learned and bookish are now uncomplimentary. The corresponding complementaries irritate learned. That's all. Any question?
No?
No.
Okay, who has any questions? No questions? No, Alua, thank you. Now, please, next, who's
I
next?
want to tell about homonyms. Homonyms are words which are identical in sound, spelling, at least in one of these aspects, but different in their meaning. English vocabulary is rich in such pairs and even groups of words. Their identical forms are mostly accidental. The mostly of homonyms change due to phonetics, which they drink their if synonyms and antonyms can be regarded as of the language's expensive. Homonyms are of no interest in this respect and cannot expect them to be particular village for communication. That's all.
Now, please, who has any questions? Please, have you any questions? Girls? Okay, thank you. Now, please, Ayajan, thank you. Now, who wants? Okay, Arujan, please you.
Hi guys, my language of tema international words and the translation loads. International words. It is often the case that a word is borrowed by several languages and not just by one. Such words usually convey concepts which are significant in the field of communication. Many of them are of Latin and Greek origin. Most names or scenes are international. Physiology, mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology, medicine, linguistics, and lexicology. There are also numerous terms of art in this group: music, theater, drama, tragedy, comedy, artist, prima donna. It's quite natural that political terms frequently occur in the international group of borrowings, politics, policy, revolution, progress, democracy, communication, anti-militarism. The English language also contributed a considerable number of international words towards language. Among them, the sports terms occupy a prominent position: football, volleyball, basketball, hockey, cricket, rugby, tennis, golf, and so on. So, translation alone. Translation alone, the term loanword is equivalent to borrowing. By translation loans, we in design borrowings of a special kind. They are not taken into the vocabulary of another language more or less in the same phonemic shape in which they have been functioning in their own language, but undergo the process of translation. For example, massive prize, wonder, first answer, collective, and a 5-year plan. So that's all. Thank you. Have you any questions?
Who has any questions, girls? Have you any questions? No questions?
No.
Okay, now, Aidana, please you.
Word building. The four types: root words, derived words, compounds, shortenings represent the main structural types of modern English words, and conversion, derivation, and composition the most productive ways of word building. Affixation. The process of affixation consists in coining a new word by adding an affix or several affixes to some root morpheme. The role of the affix in this procedure is very important, and therefore it is necessary to consider certain facts about the main types of affixes. From the etymological point of view, affixes are classified into the same two large group as words native and borrowed. The next, conversion. Conversion, this type is question naturally arises when one deals with words produced by conversion. One of the most productive ways of modern English word building. Conversion is sometimes referred to as an affixes and way word building on affixless derivation. For example, make, to make, a make, or hand to hand. The next, compounds. Another focus of interest in the semantic aspect of compound words, that is a question of correlation of the separate meanings of the constituent parts and the actual meaning of the compound. To try and answer the question, let us consider the following groups of examples. For example, classroom, bedroom, dining room, blackboard. The next shortenings. This comparatively new way of word building has achieved a high degree productive nowadays, especially in American English. Shortenings or contracted certainly are produced of two different ways. The first is to make a new word from syllable of the original word. For example, fridge, refrigerator. The second way of shortening is to make a new word from the united letters of word group. For example, the UK, the USA. That's so. Thanks.
Okay. Who has any questions? Girls? Everything is clear for you, I think. Yes? Okay, thank you, girls. Now, please, we have very little time. Now, please, I'll give you some tasks. The first task, I'll send you test tasks. You should answer the test questions, okay? Next time, I'll send you these tasks. And the theme, you should write topic on the theme, the main variants of the English language. Please write down your home task. You should prepare topic on the theme, the main variants of the English language. The first task. The second task is I'll send you test tasks. You should answer the test questions, okay? Now, girls,
Okay.
thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.
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 Time.